Do you get attached too fast? Like you meet someone, you start talking, and suddenly they're on your mind all the time. You're checking your phone more, waiting for their replies, overthinking every little thing they say, and it's not even been that long. But somehow they already matter way more than they should. If that sounds like you might not just be catching feelings. You might have attachment issues. And before you think that sounds dramatic, it's actually really common. A lot of people don't get attached because someone is perfect. They get attached because of how that person makes them feel. Maybe they gave you more attention when you really needed it, or they made you feel seen for the first time in a while. And once you feel that, you don't want to lose it. So you start holding on to them a little tighter than you should. You start overthinking everything. If they take too long to reply, you think you did something wrong. If their energy changes even a little bit, you notice immediately. You start checking if they're online, rereading messages, and trying to figure out what everything means. Be honest, how many times have you done that? And the frustrating part is that you're aware of it. You know you're getting attached too fast, but you still can't stop. It's like your brain is telling you to calm down, but your feelings are already fully invested. And sometimes, it's not even really about them as a person. It's about what they represent. They represent comfort, attention, and a break from feeling alone. So when you feel like you might lose them, it hits way harder than it should. That's when things start getting messy. You might ignore red flags just to keep them around. You might put in way more effort than they do. You might stay in a situation that isn't even good for you, just because the idea of losing them feels worse than dealing with the stress they're causing you. And that's when attachment issues actually start hurting you. But getting attached isn't the issue. Everyone gets attached. The problem is when you start losing yourself in the process, when your mood depends on how they act, when your whole day changes based on whether they text you or not, and when you feel anxious over someone who hasn't even proven they deserve that much of your time or energy. That's when it becomes unhealthy. So let me ask you something. Do you actually like them, or do you just not like feeling alone? Because those are two very different things, and a lot of people mix them up. When you're used to feeling lonely, even a little bit of attention can feel like something huge, but that doesn't automatically mean it's real or right for you. And yeah, I know it's not easy to just stop getting attached, but the first step is actually noticing it. Noticing when you're overthinking, noticing when you're giving too much too early, and noticing when you're putting someone on a pedestal they haven't earned. You don't have to rush into feelings, and you don't have to give someone your full attention right away. Let people earn their place in your life instead of handing it to them immediately, because the right person isn't going to make you feel anxious all the time. They're not going to make you question everything or leave you guessing where you stand. And most importantly, they're not going to make you feel like you have to hold on so tightly just to keep them around. But being attached to someone also says a lot about you in a good way. For example, if you get attached easily, it usually means you care deeply. You're not someone who treats people like they're disposable. When you like someone, you actually show up. You put in effort, you listen, you remember things about them, and you try. A lot of people out here can't even do the bare fucking minimum. And you're out here giving genuine energy, and that's not a weakness. That's something most people wish they had. It also means you're emotionally aware, even if it doesn't feel like it sometimes. You feel things strongly, and yeah, that can be overwhelming. But it also means when you care about someone, they feel it too. You're not cold, you're not distant, you're not playing games. You're real, and that's something to be proud of. Another thing is that people with attachment issues are usually really loyal. Like once you care about someone, you're not just switching up on them for no reason. You stick around, you try to make things work, and you don't just disappear the second things get a little difficult. And in the right situation, with the right person, that kind of loyalty is actually a really good thing. But here's where you have to be careful. Those same traits can hurt you if you give them to the wrong person. Because not everyone deserves that level of care, that level of attention, or that level of loyalty. And if you keep giving it to the wrong people who don't give it back, you're just going to be draining yourself. Another double-edged sword is when you overanalyze everything. It can drive you crazy, but it also means you pick up on things other people don't. You notice changes in tone, energy, behavior. You can tell when something's off before anyone says anything. That awareness can actually protect you if you learn how to trust it instead of letting it control you. And sometimes you're not even attached to the person, you're attached to the potential. You're thinking about what it could be instead of what it actually is. You start imagining a future, a relationship, a version of them that hasn't even happened. And then you get attached to that idea not the reality. Attachment issues can come from not getting consistent attention before. So when someone finally gives it to you, it feels like something you need to hold on to. It's not that you're too much, it's that you're not used to something so steady. So when it shows up, you go all in. But over time, you have to learn how to balance that. You don't need to give 100% of yourself right away. You can still care without losing control. You can still like someone without making them your whole world. So yeah, maybe you do get attached fast. Maybe you care a little too much sometimes. But that doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It just means you have to learn where to place that energy so it doesn't keep hurting you.